unusual custody arrangement that's being discussed, shall we say. What are you getting a report? Dan, you said you guys came in late. Do you guys have a feel for what may be happening on Monday yet, or is it just too soon to say?
We know that there's going to be an overwhelming community support. Like I said, Rich Carlson from the Petosky Tea Party, Tom, Brad, and some of the other women that sit on that board of directors there have just been really warm. We went up to the Sioux Tea Party, and the first thing out of their mouth was, what can we do to help? I mean, that's why the Tea Parties are growing everywhere in the state of Michigan, is because they're doing what our system is having problems doing. They're just saying, hey, let's do what we have to do to get the job done. And the system seems to want to say, well, are we going to get, what kind of money are we going to get it done?
Well, that's exactly right. I mean, and that's basically how the bureaucracy system works, period. It's how much money and how can we keep everybody employed. I mean, that just seems like what we end up with in these kind of cases.
Yeah, one of the other things I'd like to mention is that Jessie's family, they don't receive any assistance.
So they're doing this all on their own. Oh my gosh, that's just that's some powerful stuff right there, because you know they'd easily qualify.
I don't see anyone starving here. I see a well-kept, well-organized family that loves each other, and like I said, that's why we're just so excited about this case. But I'd like to get back to Jessie and have her kind of explain this, because she's been an inspiration to me.
Kind of left me with a funny end there, but I think that what Dan's trying to get at is, that financially, what this would mean would be for the travel time to happen is that, I would have to find work, which we all know what it's like to find work in Michigan.
Oh yeah.
Right now, I mean, it's tough. And two, being that I haven't haven't had a job through all of this, to go and get work just to take a week off every month, or time off every month, not necessarily a week, to find a job that would be willing to comply with that would be near impossible. I'm assuming, this is only an assumption that I'm making. And then two, if I could find a job, and I think that this is where it relates to everyone, is that, I wouldn't want to have to go on assistance to make this happen. And it might have to turn out to be that way. And that affects everyone. That's tax dollars that everyone has to pay that is going to go towards this. Yeah. And it doesn't make any sense. It really doesn't. I just don't understand how this is a feasible idea. If they're trying to keep families together, they're going about it the wrong way.
Yeah, they should. Go ahead.
Figured out is that a one-way trip to Indianapolis is $75, and then she'd have to come back, and that's another $75 in gas. Then she'd have to go back to pick up the baby. That's another $75. So we're talking like $300, not counting all the time off and driving and everything else.
Wear and tear on vehicle, I mean, it adds up. I mean, it certainly does now. And that's going at current gas prices, which here's a whole other show we can do. That's obviously going up and expected to hit past $3 a gallon pretty soon.
Yeah, and we encourage, if the other family wants to talk about this or whatever, I know there's not been any offers made through Janet to try to settle this. And, this is not a malice situation, and that's why I'm so excited about it, because maybe we can make a difference, because normally in the court system it's a win and lose. We don't need to win and lose when it comes to families. It needs to be a win-win. We need to keep this father involved with his child, and the importance of breastfeeding needs to be continued.
Well, now, what is, I would definitely agree with everything you just said on both sides. So what would be an alternative that maybe should be considered then, as your opinion, Dan?
Well, the other side, the father, he's been more than welcome into the home. I don't see that changing. They want him to be involved with baby. They want him to be involved with their son. I think it's just he's got to come to the realization that he's a young man, and obviously there's been mistakes made. They're not married, and that's a whole nother issue. But like here in Michigan, we need to make the best of the situation we have. We need to decide when he can come up here, visit with the child. The family will work with him, and then go back when it's advantageous for him. A couple of years down the road, when this little baby is old enough, then we can maybe make some different types of travel arrangements.
What about now? You said meeting him halfway is Indianapolis. Where does he live right now?
He's in Alabama, outside of Huntsville.
Wow, that is a trip, no doubt.
Yeah, I mean, that's 10 hours from my house and then 10 hours from where they live. So from where he lives, it's insane. I've made the drive many times, and it's not something that I would want to do in one long stretch, but I have, and it's not very comfortable. I'll tell you that.
No, I've done my 12-hour Kentucky trips, and they're a nightmare. I can't imagine 20.
And the baby being in a car seat for that long. This is 4 days in a week's time.
Yeah, that's not good for a child under any circumstance. I mean, there's probably even medical issues involved in that, and you don't realize, and maybe even circulatory stuff and so forth. I mean, it's just hard to imagine keeping a baby that confined. Us adults all get blown up after a long, hard trip, let alone what it would do to a child.
And it's unfortunate. Wilder really can't express the fact that I was there yet.
Yeah.
Oh, believe me, in a few years he will, no doubt. But in the meanwhile, he certainly can't. That's exactly right. I've got to take a quick break, guys, for weather and the Fox Business Report. Can you stand by?